Hey, Instagram, going live today with my friend Sheri, talking all about creating 24 karat success and the 7 week sprint because the doors are open and they close Friday. Thursday. They close Thursday at midnight because we start Friday morning and I don't want you to miss it. I see Sheri's here, gonna invite her in. So excited to talk about this today with you, to answer all your questions, to go into details. Hey, Sheri.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So good to see you.
So good to see you.
Thank you. So I would love for you to tell everyone who you are and what you do.
I am Sheri Moise. I am an intuitive business astrologer, and I help entrepreneurs leverage the data that astrology has to offer so that they can have more ease, predictability, and better timing in their marketing and planning. Think launches, more connection with soul clients, and really prioritizing your well-being in addition to that growth of your business.
Beautiful. And I can attest to all that because I've worked with Sheri twice now, and the second time it only got better. Like there was this amazing rhythm, and I felt like I had all the information that I needed. I felt so supported. So couldn't recommend your services anymore. Truly, it was brilliant to work with you on this last launch. So thank you very
You are
much.
so welcome. You are so welcome.
So today I invited you here to share with everyone the 7 week sprint. The doors are closing on Thursday night. We're starting the next round of 7 week sprint, and you are coming back for round 2. And so that says something about the program, I would say. So I'd love to hear about what it was the first time around, and then your experience in that, like, yeah, this is something that I want to do. And then like, oh, this is something that I absolutely am going to do a second time.
Well, my experience the first time around when you and I met and chatted, I knew that there was a piece of my mindset that was keeping me, holding me back, there where I was staying, as you like to say, in the known zone, and that I needed some new tools in my toolbox to shift that energy. And so when I, as we talked and I looked at and I sat through that first masterclass, it was just all these wisdom bombs you drop. I was writing some down earlier, this idea of, we're always winning the game we're playing. And so, yeah, I was winning that game, but there was another game that I really wanted to win and step into. And so, it was just a no-brainer for me to step into that first 7 week sprint. And it was, I do a lot of things intuitively and based on trusting my gut and especially, connecting who I connect with. And it exceeded all my expectations because it's practical and tactical, and the tools that you give are, what's the word I want to use besides practical and tactical? But you can implement them with ease. Like, I'm a person who's like, let's just keep it simple, right? Like, I don't want some complicated or, I'm as woo as they come, but there's a difference between manifesting and between actually working with your own brain and heart to get where you want to go. And that's the bridge you gap for people with the tools that you share.
Amazing. Thanks. Kate said realistic too. Like the tools are
Yes.
like realistically implement them. They're pretty actionable and they don't require, an advanced degree.
No, and I know a lot about brain science. Like, these are some things that I teach, but you come at it, from a very there's a finesse to what you do. I think that's a really good word to use, is that with all your years of experience and the way that you approach these tools it's really, yeah, like Kate says, it's realistic. We can actually do these things every day, and it makes a big difference. I was looking back at my 24 karat outcomes and how I morphed them over that 7 weeks and then some. And those things, many of them I have achieved, or I'm in process of up leveling because they were doable, instead of saying, well, I want this financial figure, which that could be in there, but it was more about the thing that I really loved is this whole idea of I am the woman who, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And then connecting that within my where I'm stepping into. And that for me was really powerful, that I get to be the woman who, fill in the blank.
Yes. Well, this is the alignment of conscious and subconscious, right?
Right.
And that's you said you're as woo as they come, and we still need the practical, tactical,
Yes.
realistic. Like, yes, our word is our wand, and what the hell are we saying, right? Like
right. Yeah, I can be that, but it has to. Actually, I was watching. There's this adorable young girl who's on Instagram, and she was talking about wishful thinking. She's like, if you can't just wish your way to Disneyland, right? Like, there's practical things that you have to do to get yourself there. And I think one of the things that the spiritual community in some level has done, is teach us that we can just wish. And what's true about that? Like, there has to be aligned action that goes along with your desires. And I think it's a matter of peeling back the onion and getting to the root of it. And that's the other layer of what you do so well, is help us to see where we are staying in the known zone and how we can break through that.
I feel like in the program and in all my one-on-one work, there's also the removal of shame and guilt around. We don't dwell in the why am I not. We don't even ask the question why when it's in the direction of something that we no longer want. We ask better questions. We say what, we say when, we say how, and we ask why in the direction of the dreams. And that is very intentional to remove, because as high achievers, we put enough shame and shit on ourselves, right? We are already like striving and doing all these things. And so to release that and to step back from that and be in more flow, that is something that's very intentional. And every container that I create is that the shame, the guilt gets laid down. Like, there's no space for it at all. We don't give light. It doesn't get any oxygen so that it can get bigger. It just gets cleared out by curiosity and support.
Yeah, that's one of my values, is curiosity. And so I appreciate that frame that you use, because I get to get curious about what needs to shift, not like what happened before. Like, it is what it is. Like you say, we don't need to be guilty or shameful about it. I just get to decide. I get to choose, and and then how do I want to move forward?
Exactly. And that's all part of being the woman who. So anyone listening, if you're like, well, what does that mean, being the woman who, and what to do with subconscious alignment? Well, your subconscious thinks in pictures and sounds and feelings. And so when you paint the picture with your 24 karat outcome of being the woman who, Sheri even went shopping, right? Like, and found some clothes. Like, this is how we tie that conscious and subconscious together, so that our subconscious, which runs 95% statistically, right, of all of us, and we're only 5% conscious of what we're doing. We want that everywhere. We want everything supporting us. And so when we paint the picture, cast the vision, so that we can cast the votes of the woman who, we know what she looks like, what she smells like, what she sounds like, how she moves in a room, how her shoes feel, right? All of those things. And we create a picture, we lean into what that feels like internally and externally. And we really dive deep into that in a 24 karat outcome, so that you continually are able to cast votes towards being the woman who. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. And I think it's, you said, why did I sign up for another round, it's because it's this continual process of refinement. And I feel like, I only scratched the surface in round one, and life was lifing for me at the time. So while I got so much out of it, I really wanted to dive back in with intention. Like, I have the tools and I could do it myself, and I have been, and I'm ready to really, finesse it and be in that container with women who are choosing to be their best self, who are choosing to reach for the things that they desire, and do it with ease.
Yeah, that's the other component of the 7 week sprint, which is technically 8 because I added a bonus week. However, we're not we like 7 week sprint. That just rolls off the tongue, right? That's the other component, is that there's a community. So not only is it a group program that you're going to be meeting with your people, right, once a week in the 7 week sprint, there's also a Voxer community for really like accountability and really getting to know each other on those off times. And that's what I use Voxer with all my clients, because life's in between calls and in between us being together. And so there's that extra layer of community support there as well. That's brand new. This time the Voxer community is brand new for all the sprinters and the alum that are coming back. And I'm really excited about that, because I see how you all uphold and support each other, which is the beauty of a group program, right? And then there'll be even more of that happening in the Voxer chat. And I can't wait for that growth as well, to see how that shifts things for people.
Yeah, I'm excited about the addition of that component, because in those calls, get to know people a bit, but to be able to like connect in between is going to be, I think, really, really, I know it'll be really, really valuable.
Amazing. So you said you created a 24-karat outcome in the first one. And just to remind everyone, that's like way better than a SMART goal, right? Like, we still those very logical steps, and we amplify it, right? We take it and we turn up the volume so that we connect the conscious and the subconscious. So there's a date in it, and there's time-bound things in it. There's feelings in it. We put all those pieces into it. And I love how you said it morphed, because I'm going to assume here, and I'm doing this like not making an ass out of me. It's because we did work together. You changed. That's what happens. You release a block, you all of a sudden get a new perspective. And so that outcome gets to shift as you shift. And as you become the woman who, you fall in love with the process of creating those outcomes. Would you say that was your experience as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was as those blocks shifted and moved, and I saw deeper layers of things in myself that I could then not ignore, but like really incorporate into my 24 karat outcome. I'm as much as I can be a public person, my Aries self has no problem getting out here and chit-chatting, but I also have a lot of big part of me that wants to be private, that needs a lot of quiet time and downtime. And so we talked a lot about the visibility piece for me. What does it look like to be a multi-six-figure business owner and have privacy and visibility? And so as I worked through that with you, then I could up-level my 24 karat outcome because there was a belief there that I needed to release and replace with something that better served me. And that was just a finesse of the outcome. It wasn't that I was changing where I wanted to go, but it was, really adding in this piece for me was about making meaningful connections that support me in, seeing, being, becoming who I want to be, and still having, that flow of me time and public time.
I'm hearing, and I'm sure I heard this before, but it's just coming back to me now. so we work on mindset and identity in the 7-week sprint as well. Mindset is our relationship with the thing, right? Identity is literally our way of being over and over and over again, and our plan to get the thing, right? This is part of identity. So you finessing, you up leveling, you seeing a new perspective in that and releasing what you thought it had to look like for visibility, right? Allowed you to expand your identity. And this, like, oh, this is the good stuff. Like, this is the gooey center. When our identity keeps us in a box, right? When our identity is not expansive, it's time to release. And we don't always know until we bump up against, oh, I want this, but I want that. Oh, here we are in a conflicting identity. And we worked through that together. You realized that, and that allowed your identity to expand for what that got to look like, to be visible, not the old meaning that you had given visibility, or even an old meaning to a multi-6-figure entrepreneur, because we can take those meanings in from all over. And you leaned into it and expanded that identity, which then, like, I just felt this like whoosh, you know, when you like blew the sides out of your known identity.
Yeah, and it really showed up. Like, I really got to put that to task. I went to some in-person events post the first 7-week sprint in June. And, you know, I could just, you know, my level of confidence and comfort in my own skin. I never sent you, I sent you the picture of the dress I kicked ass in, took names in at that event. You know, like, it was the whole thing that I was able to do both. And that trip was very much all of me. Like, there was, you know, me, you know, taking care of what I needed to do to have downtime. There was me working on up-leveling my business. There was me creating connections, and just, it was so joyful and so fun. And I had no problem, you know, just chit-chatting with people. Not that I don't anyways, but I was approaching it from my 24 karat outcome, which was meaningful connections that support me. And yeah, I just, you know, it really felt that although, you know, the time in the sprint and my time with you set me up for success for that trip in a whole different way. And I got so much more out of it that was really aligned with where I want to go versus where I might have been. I probably would have done what I do in the past and stay in my comfort area with a few people that I already know. And I was really intentional about working the crowd to get to meet new people, not, you know, just because I wanted to know who was there and get to, you know, expand my circle and see who I resonated with.
Beautiful, beautiful. One of the other pieces we talk about in the sprint, as well as creating 24 karat outcomes. So Sheri said in the sprint, and her work with me, Sheri did the VIP version where you're in the sprint with the group, and then you get some laser coaching calls with me to really just drill in and knock that shit out. Just, woo, get that out of here. When you create a 24 karat outcome, something that we haven't shared, but anybody that follows me knows, right? We lay it out. It's now this date. It's now this time. I see, I hear, I feel, I taste. I know. We brag on ourselves. We remind ourselves of all the internal resources that we used in order to create this outcome. And then at the bottom, we say this or something better. This or something better, because really the magic is us becoming the women who. The outcome is a milestone, right? Like, it's a little like, oh, look, you showed up.
Yeah.
Really, magic is in, I'm a woman who can create any 24 karat outcome. Like, I'm a 24 karat outcome creator, not just one. Like, this is what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was me saying to myself by saying yes to another round of the sprint and the alumni program, is that this is who I am now. I am the woman who, and that is something I really want to embody and live, you know, going forward. And I know how I learn. You know, some people can walk away from one round and be great. Repetition, I think you say this too, repetition is the, you know, key to mastery. history. And so for me, knowing that like I get to repeat this again, and every time you hear it, you pick up another piece of it. So I'm super excited to go through this again. And I fully intend to be on both calls every week as much as I possibly can, so that I can really be the woman who uses 24, carat outcomes. That's just who, not uses them. That's just who I am, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just part of your identity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Have you, I just want to tell everyone like what happens in the program. So it's a 7 plus a bonus week. So it's 8 week sprint. It starts this Friday at 11 a.m. Central, and we'll have a call that runs about 90 minutes. We'll have that once a week. And in those calls, you will be learning some stuff. I'm going to blow your mind with some things about how you operate, about why we do what we do, about self-sabotage, which has been a huge theme for us this whole month, and clearing clutter, and just all those practical, tactical things that you talked about too, because we're going to combine the science and the woo so that you can lean in. We also are going to have what I used to call hot seating, but someone gave me a new word, and now it's called love seating. And so there's going to be time where you get coached in the calls, because everybody can learn from what's happening. There's aligned action that we take afterwards, and there's always time and space in the call to talk through, to ask questions, to really want to understand what's happening. And so I'm super excited for, hey, Mari just came on too. Hey, Lindsay. I'm super excited for this next round of brand new 7-week sprinters to really unpack the information and really lean into becoming the women who, falling in love with the process. And then Sheri's talking about, I have an alumni program for just the just people who have been through the 7-week sprint. And there's actually 2 people who have been through 2 sprints already. And now another one coming back with us as well, Sheri, for the alum. So I think that speaks for itself,
Yeah,
right? That the community,
absolutely.
that the growth that you get to experience, also amazing. We've got Mari on here, who is a 2-time 7-week sprinter as well, and Lindsay, who's one of my private clients, and both create massive 24 karat outcomes all the time. It is just, would you say, Sheri, that having that tool now, like what kind of difference has that tool made in order for you to cast those votes and show up?
It's like having the, you can't build something without a foundation, right? And I think that's like, I have a lot of tools with astrology and other things in my, to move the meter from A to B, to choose those right dates, to, figure out the best times to accomplish something. But if you don't know and have the vision, of what you want your reality to look like and a way to get there, I say the same thing about, it's like throwing darts, right? Like I'm just saying, oh, I want to be, I want to hit this number this year. And so it's just, to me, it's like you got to have that 24 karat outcome, because like you say, it's something I can smell, touch, feel, visualize, and it can embody it, so that then I can take the action steps, the aligned action steps to get there. So to me, it's just the root. Like it is the thing that you do first, and then you build the house from there.
Yes, I love it. I love the tool. I love the way that we can take it and really shape it into our own thing. And Lindsay, that's on here, creates them all the time and uses them as a North Star. Like, this is the next one that I want to create. This is the next one that I want to create. And just starts putting them into place. Like you said, it's just part of your identity, right? This is who I am. And so this is how I do this. I love it. I love it.
I love it.
Is there anything else that people need to know, Sheri? I mean, besides sign up right
Yeah.
now, but
grab your spot. Like if you're on the fence or hesitating or curious, like do it. You will not regret it. I don't say that. Like I don't endorse many programs or many people. You know, I do it from a place of experience. It's, you know, important to me, but Mindy's work is just top notch, and it's a game changer. So if you are in a place in your life where you're ready to, you know, to be, I love how she says, be the creator of your own reality. This is your ticket. Sign up, join us. I would love to see you there. Just do it.
Awesome. Thank you. Like that. And that's a wrap. That was perfect. So much for joining me today and sharing your experience with everyone. I adore you. I can't wait to see you in a couple days.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.